Welcome to another episode of the Money and Business Hero podcast, where we talk about the three pillars of financial success: money mindset, money management, and money making. My name is Florian Fritz, and I have an absolutely amazing guest today. She is a dentist. She's author of multiple books, a high-performance business coach. She's involved in multiple charities and a much sought-after speaker at hundreds of events. Oh, yeah, and she's a mother of three beautiful children as well. So welcome, Dr. Emily Letran. Great to have you here.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me on. Thank you for creating the platform where we can share some of these insights. And yeah, by the way, my official introduction is best mom in the world.
Best mom in the world. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I forgot that one. Best mom in the world and all the other things I said.
Yeah.
Great. Now, well, the first thing that came to my mind is, do you have more than 24 hours a day with all these things you're doing?
Well, no, every one of us have 24 hours. How we choose to spend it and really leverage the time is where the difference is. So now I think for all the parents out there, if you have kids, you need, sometimes it does feel like you need 24 hours, more than 24 hours a day. But I have news for you. Those kids actually grow up and they will give you back your time because I recently became an empty nester, right? So all of my kids are in college or professional school, and you do get back that time. So it's really not so much, do you have more time? Do you have less time? I think it's really what you do with the time, and I love it when, I can account all the amount of time every day, what I do, excuse me, for myself, for my family, and for the business.
Mhm. Great. Yeah, well, you're right. It depends how we actually spend our time, right? How we use those
Yes.
24 hours. Well, if the 24 hours is spent, we still have the night. We
Right,
can
that's
spend
true.
that one as well. Now,
Uh-huh.
the next question that came to my mind, how does a dentist become a business coach? Or they say that doctors can, although they make a lot of money, they can never get rich because they don't know anything about money. So, how does a dentist become a business coach?
Yeah, so well, I can only share my personal story, right?
Or you?
Because yes, from the time I graduated, what was fascinating to me was the business aspect. Because just like you said, we don't know much. Because in school, the focus is on clinical. And really you want the focus to be clinical, right? You want the doctors and the dentists and the healthcare professionals to come out and know exactly what they're doing.
Yes.
Now, because of that, when I'm reading, the journals, the magazine, the newsletter, it's always something new because I didn't know. It wasn't taught to me. So that became an interest point. And then I started going to a lot of business conferences, and I don't go to just the dental conference. I go to conferences across the board. I go to marketing conferences. I go to business management conferences. So I get exposed to a lot of great ideas. And then I take those ideas and I go back and I implement it into my offices and I see the results, I see the change. And about 6 years ago, no, actually 7 years ago, the time flies, right? About 7 years ago, I started helping other business owners and entrepreneurs, and it's across industry, on how to control stress, how to increase net income, and how to live happier, more fulfilled life. And what I mean by that is, you could have your business and you work in your business and then you go home and you work, you take care of your family. But what's the bigger vision? What kind of legacy are you going to leave? Are you in that position that maybe you can create impact? And a lot of business owners have that ability to create impact. Why? Because you already have people listening to you. If people come into your business, right? If you have a physical location, or maybe you're online and you're doing a Facebook Live, you already have people listening to you. So the impact that you could create is much bigger than just your business itself. And I hear people all the time saying, well, yeah, they didn't teach me that in school. True. And that excuse should last for about 2 to 3 years. I mean, that's really way too long. But I think in 2 to 3 years, all of the people who went to school for whatever career, right? you should already realize that you didn't learn that aspect, the business aspect, the money aspect. That was not taught in school, unless you're in accounting or,
I I
financial
have
management.
I have a degree in business, and no, I actually didn't really learn it.
Okay. Okay, there you go. The perfect example, right? So, but for me as a high performance coach, okay, after 2, 3 years, you figure you don't know enough. Well, then what the heck are you gonna do? So you need to invest. But and by that what I mean is pay for a course, learn it, go to a seminar, work with a coach or mentor. Because I don't think the excuse, so many years after is like, well, I never learned this in school. Well, school can only teach you so much. Imagine all of our high school students, right? If they didn't go to college, for example, and they come out and everything is about, they never taught me that in school. Well, school is not meant to teach you everything. It's meant to help you be competent, and you come out and you can get started. But everything after that, unfortunately or fortunately, comes from you,
Mm,
right? So because of my training, I don't take excuses um, as okay. Well, yeah, you didn't learn it. No, you didn't learn it. But now all you need to do is, even if you just Google the word, there's going to be tons of resources come on, and your job is to do some due diligence and see which resources best fit you, who can you trust, and be educated. That's my point here is be very educated so you can grow it yourself.
mm. Awesome. Yeah. What would you say are the most important thing that people should go and learn after school, after college?
Well, I think for me personally, one of the most important things is to learn about yourself,
Mm,
right? Which is where I focus on high performance coaching, which is business growth. I'll give you an example.
please.
Let's say you go to work and you want a raise, right? And you go, okay, how do I ask for a raise? Right? What if I ask for a raise and they fire me or whatever it is, right? Or what if I ask for a raise and they say, well, you can't have a raise because you've been performing at 70%. You're not even the great employee. Well, a lot of time when you start asking yourself those questions, it's because there's a lack of confidence, right? Which is personal growth.
Mm,
Now, if you have the confidence and you say, hey, I come in early, I stay late. I know I beat my last sales quota, whatever it is, the results. So when you go and you ask for that raise, you have all of these facts that support why you want to ask for that raise. Then it's going to help you build that confidence to go ask for it, right? So that is even if you're an employee, if you own a business, if you want to go and do a negotiation, right? Or if you're going to present a big ticket item. Let's say for me, let's say I want to do cosmetic dentistry, fix every single tooth in your mouth in the U.S. We might be looking at $30,000 or $40,000, right? And people sitting there going, "Whoa, that's like a car." Yes, but this but this is to help your smile. You can eat better, you can chew better, you look better in video, you create better memories, you change your life, etc., etc., etc. So I need to know how to sell that value.
mm,
But again, it has to come with confidence. Can I actually deliver that? Right? Do I actually believe in what I say? Because that's a big part too. Sometimes people are trained on a sales script, but maybe they don't believe in it, right? So there's a lack of alignment in your belief system and whatever that you're doing, and you need to have that alignment. So all of that is personal growth. And the second thing, and to the point of you having this podcast, is I think we need to be taught about money, because when we come out of school, we've never had money before. Like some people worked during school, and I did. So you got exposed to some of that. Some people might not have really worked during school. So all of a sudden you're thrown out there and you get paid this X dollar, which is why people go and buy a nice car, buy a big car, and maybe go buy a big house, and then they look at it and they go, wait a minute, so now the whatever the bills are is too much, right? Because sometimes you don't understand if you have that money, how to keep most of it, right? And then how to invest to make it grow. And it may not even have to be buying real estate. It could be, the small savings. Like a lot of us who are parents in the US, you could put some of that money in to save for your kids' college, right? But these are things that really should need to be taught. If you're lucky enough, you read in the magazine and they talk about this, and then you have to have that intention to go look things up and then learn some more, unless you have a financial advisor or a great CPA who advise you. So I would say personal growth and money.
Thank you. Sorry, I totally agree on those two. Personal development to get the confidence that you said, and of course, learn about money. That's what I'll advise to anyone. And you said sales, right? How important is it to learn about sales?
Yeah, because sales is, when people hear sales, they go, oh, that's sleazy or whatever. Well, you sell yourself every day whenever you have a proposal. When I tell people, if you want to ask your spouse to go out to dinner, right? You're trying to sell him or her the idea we should go out and spend money, right? You sell your kids on, let's get up early so we can go to school on time, right? What is the, besides that you have to go to school, you gotta motivate them to actually do that for you every day for so many days for so many years. When you talk to your staff and you tell them this is how we want to do X, you need to sell them on the idea that X is the best way to do things, that's going to make the business better, that is going to help us grow, we're going to make more money, then I'm going to pay you more, like all of those. And none of those is actual sales. When people think about sales, you're trying to sell something. No, you could be selling an idea. You could be selling, like I said, it's like a personal proposal, right? You tell your friend, let's go out to lunch, and you're gonna sell them on the idea they'll go to this restaurant. That's where you want to go. So it's more, I see it more about persuasion, right? And that's part of high performance coaching also, is persuasion. How do you get somebody to agree with you for whatever your motive is or whatever your goals are, right? But how do you get them to listen to you, to say, okay, that makes sense, and to agree with you? And it could be anything. So I think learning more about how to be a persuasive person, because when you're persuasive, you're gonna make not just a great salesperson, you're gonna make a great spouse, a great parent, and a great leader.
Great, thank you. Beautiful. What beautifully said. Now, if some entrepreneur comes to you for business, high performance business coaching, where do you start with them? What's the first steps? What's the most important thing people need to start with to improve their performance?
Yeah, well, it's always when somebody come and want to chat with me, I always invite them to do what we call a focus call. And I ask them, what is your number one challenge? What is the one thing that you want to achieve right now? Right. And sometimes you'll be surprised because they'll tell me 10 things, right? Like, I want this, 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 this. It's like, no, just one thing. Because a lot of times the very first thing is to get clarity,
Mhm.
right? People may say, I'm stressed. I want to get rid of stress. Well, there are 20 things that could cause your stress. So in that call, it's about understanding, helping the person understand himself or herself. Because that's what coaching is to help you, come up with your plan of action. So help them understand whatever the challenge is, why it's a challenge. Is it you or is it your team, right? Who can solve this challenge? And then helping them find a solution. And then at the end of the call, pretty much we have the solution. Like, this is what we can do to overcome that challenge. And then I would invite them, if they think that it's helpful to continue the conversation, to continue the support, then they can work with me, whether in a group capacity or a one-on-one capacity. I think a lot of time, when people want to get started, they number one, they tend to be overwhelmed because they're trying to do too many things at one time, especially for entrepreneur. Um, and then number two, they cannot figure out their priorities. And a lot of time when I talk to people about priorities, come down to your core values. Because usually whatever is your priority is going to be whatever is most important to you, right? Now you could be very busy and you kind of forget. But if I were to ask people about their core values, usually similar things come up, right? It could be love, it could be family relationship, it could be money, right? But if and then of the 10 things that you want to do here, which one is in alignment with these core values? And how much time have you spent on it? Can you get somebody else to help you get to that goal or solve that situation faster? Because whenever you can understand, okay, these are my core values, these are my goals, and my goals are in alignment with my core values. And in order to do these three goals, I can have three of my staff help do this. All of a sudden, the goal doesn't seem so far away. All of a sudden, the task doesn't seem so big because you communicate what's important to you and your goals to the people who are supposed to support you. Or if you're working with a coach or a strategist like me, I'm going to help you with the roadmap, right? I'll help you create a GPS. So sometimes when things are so overwhelmed, but you look at it and you go, well, but yeah, we're still on track, right? Then we're okay. We don't get overwhelmed because we know we are still on track. Maybe we get slowed down, but we'll get back on track.
So you would say that at the root cause for many problems people have, entrepreneurs have, is a lack of clarity, actually. Did I
Yes.
understand that right?
Yeah, I think that is absolutely right. When the conversations start, when I start asking questions,
Mhm.
a lot of time it's because we're not clear. And I'm not saying that you don't know, it's just that you're not clear. Like, I'll give you a very good example, right? Let's say you say, well, you know what, Emily, family is really important to me, right? And then I say, okay, well, describe your busy day, your overwhelmed day. And they would describe, they wake up in the morning and they go to work and they work and they skip lunch because it was too busy. And then, they're done with their work day and they have some paperwork, so they stay late, or they take the paperwork home and they eating and they phone or text coming in, right? And then at the end of the day, they're so tired they go to sleep, right? And they're waiting for that Friday night so they could spend time with the family, or for that weekend so they could spend time with the family, right? Then a lot of time my question to them is, where in that busy day, where did the family go? Did the family fit in there, right? And then they start thinking, oh yeah, I did tell you that family was important to me, right? But I'm saving the family for Friday night, right? So it's there's no alignment because you say family is important, but yet I don't see family showing up in your day. And then I ask them things like, who's the boss? Oh, I'm the boss. Who make you stay late? I made me stay late. Right? So they start realizing that they clear, family is important, but they allow whatever, work or whatever take over their day. And because if they keep telling themselves family is important, the family is going to be part of that. It's going to be in there, right? I can tell when I talk to people, and then like in general conversation, who has family as a priority, right? Those are the ones that pull out the phone and start telling you all the pictures, of their family thing. And it doesn't have to be their last vacation. It could be, hey, here's a picture of my grandkid, right? Somebody who's older, they show a picture of their grandkid. Those are the people who have family. Well, guess who have family as a priority. Guess what? Guess where my conversation gonna go? I'm trying to present something to them. I'm trying to sell something to them. Guess what I'm going to talk about? How would that help with that family relationship? Would it make it more fun? So when the person get clarity, the person can design a plan of action that help them achieve certain goals that are in alignment with those values that they have, as part of the clarity. If they don't have that, or they have that but they're not in alignment, my job is to help and disentangle, like untangle untangle that, so we can say, okay, we say this is fat, this is important, and do this. I'll give you a very quick example. I work with a client has a seven-figure business, and when we start talking, she said one of the things she wants is to stop playing golf again. And you would think somebody who have a business, who have a whole system, who have a whole staff, what do you mean you can't play golf, right? Because, and she was doing some of those things. Exactly what I was describing is staying late, right, after work, and going to work and taking work home and all that stuff. And after, I mean, in less than 12 months, she started having date night with her husband because we need to fit that into the schedule, into the busy schedule. And then she started going to play golf again. And she even took her kid who he just started first grade. So I think I think this was like when he was 3, right? Actually taking him to the golf course with her. Now if you tell somebody, oh, Dr. So and so worked with Emily and now she could go play golf, people are gonna say, what the heck? That's the accomplishment. No, it's a big accomplishment because it's getting the clarity. It's actually prioritize things. It's actually taking care of herself. It's actually taking care of her family. It's actually becoming happier. Because I could also tell her, you know what, why don't you just block your schedule and just go play golf? But it's not the same, right? Yeah. So that's when the busy entrepreneur have that clarity, I think they can design their life better. And it's not so much, I have to do this because it's always come back to who you are. Is that what you want? Is that the most important thing to you? Hope that answer your question there.
Totally. So you actually don't only help them to improve their business, you also help them to improve their personal lives.
Right.
And you create a beautiful win-win situation. I think they get clear on their values and you know how to sell them because you know their values.
Well, no, this is all about helping them get to
Sure.
what they want, right?
Selling is
Yeah.
helping if you sell them something valuable.
Yes, 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 yes. As long as it's in alignment with what they need
Yes,
and their values. Yes.
absolutely, absolutely. As long as you're selling something that's really helping them, I think it's
Right.
helping them, right?
Right.
So a couple of money questions,
Yeah.
just 2 or 3. How important is money to you?
Money is important. For me, money is important, especially when I'm in certain projects. I'm sure you've heard of the saying, um, if you help enough about Zig Ziglar, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want, right? So when I was younger, it's yes, there's a money goal, right? Oh, we need to make this much, we're going to pay the loan, and we, etc., etc. Now it's more, what is my goal? So, for example, one of my goals is to donate a certain amount of money every year, right? And I would like to beat last year's goal, right? And then next year I want to beat this year's goal. So it is also about money. It's important, but it's not for me, right? It's for something else, somebody else, but it create that impact that make my life feel more fulfilled. So yes, money is very important. It's more important when I'm trying to buy an office or buy a building, So for so many months, like the focus is like get that money there, buy that thing. But in general, um, I don't. Money is not a focus for me, if that makes any sense. Which is why I said a lot of time when I talk to people having clarity and about their values, most people actually don't have money
Mhm.
as the value. Money is a vehicle to get you to those particular values, but usually it's not a value in itself.
Right,
So it's important, but it's not my focus number one.
right, great, thank you. Now you might have answered the next question already, which is what's your purpose for money?
Yeah, and as you know, we as we grow and life goes on, then sometimes your perspective change, right? Your focus change, your focus may change. Usually your values don't change, but some of the other things um, change. And so I'll give you an example. When is it 2 years ago? 2 years ago, when the pandemic first hit, right? I'm in Southern California. In my dental practice, everything shut down, right? So is money important at that time? Yeah, because you're sitting there going, where is this money gonna come? When is money gonna come in, right? But then what I did was I just sit back and I said, okay, I've done everything I could, right? These are just the certain rules or laws that I have to live with, but I've done everything I could. So am I gonna worry? Yes, but no, because I'm coming from having faith, and it doesn't matter if you which religion you believe in. I'm a Buddhist, but by faith, what I mean is, I'm going to live my righteous life, and somebody up there is going to take care of me, right? And that's really how I went to work. I'm just going to show up to work because we could show up to work, we just cannot technically see patients unless somebody have an emergency, right? And it's very interesting. I had patient almost every day. Somebody would have an emergency. They would come in and they would pay X dollars. And I for me it would just, okay, I'm just gonna show up to work. If people come in, I see them. If they don't come in, it's okay. I'm just because I need to stick with that routine, kind of. Besides the fact that my three kids kicked me out of the house because everybody's on Zoom for school. And they said, Mom, you can't stay home because the internet will be so slow. So you go to your office and use the internet, right? So I think having faith is very helpful in a difficult time, especially difficult time of money. And it wasn't the first time where I was in a very difficult situation, which kind of like an abruption, shutdown of work or halting of work, and I just resolved back to faith, and I know that if I'm doing the right thing, somehow money is going to show up, right? Like clients would call and sign up for coaching, whatever it is, but you just do the right thing and you focus. And as far as the money goes, um, I would say the majority of the time, almost all the time, the money isn't for me. It would be to take care of the family, right? And I know there are people who, okay, got the money, buy the new car for myself, buy the new clothes for myself, book a trip for myself. Whichever way you want to use money, that's entirely up to you. In the coaching that I do, we always want people to think bigger, right? What's beyond you? What's beyond your local business or even a virtual business? What's beyond? Because once you start thinking like that, you start thinking about money being used in other ways besides just the basic support for yourself.
Great, thank you. And one more question. What's your best wealth building tip for people who want to start build their wealth so they, whatever their purpose is, can give it away later or live the lifestyle they want? What's your best wealth building tip?
I think the best wealth building tip is to invest in yourself. And what do I mean by that? You're whether you like it or not, whether you like it or not, you're the driver, you're the CEO of your life. A lot of time, and the reason I do high performance coaching, which is personal growth together with business strategy, is because your business growth is going to be limited by your personal growth. Okay. And until you invest in yourself, you enlighten yourself, right? Like you learn new things. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you're just going to stay doing the same thing. And then guess what? You get the same result. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you say, okay, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to do this work. And oh, there's a seminar. You just mentioned the seminar, right? With T. Harvicker coming up, right? That is going to be about growth, right?
Yes,
Business and
absolutely.
personal. But let's say you say, oh, it's going to cost X amount of money and I don't have that money. I'm just going to stay here and do my work. Versus you say, you know what? I put it on a credit card. I borrow somebody's money. I'm sure you've heard those stories before, right? I'm going to show up to this seminar. So now I'm getting exposed to all of these ideas. And maybe I sit next to somebody and we're going to exchange ideas and we're going to collaborate in business. All of a sudden, you grow, right? But the investment was in yourself. People say, yeah, I invested in that seminar. No, you invested in yourself. You bet on yourself. And that's what I would recommend is bet on yourself, invest in yourself. I graduated from dental school in 93 and I bought my first practice in 97. And in 99, I bought my second practice, and I bought a building. And then in 2004, I bought another practice and a building. And then, like all of these things where I'm growing, or when I'm doing my business, my coaching business, then I start doing seminars and everything, right? All of these are wealth building strategies, right? To grow multiple locations, to be investing in real estate, to same knowledge, but now I'm using it for coaching. So it's leveraging the knowledge that I already have, and that's also building wealth. But I have to invest in myself first. So
Right.
I think that would be my advice, is to invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself. Wonderful tip. Thank you. Now, if someone wants to book one of those focus calls with you, or wants to get in touch with you to get more information, more help, where can they find you?
Yes, they can go to my website. Is dremilyletran.com. So I'll spell it for you. Is DREMILYLETRAN.com. They can go on there. There's a high performance quiz that they can take and find out if they're a real high performer. And it's all about personal and business, because it's not, we don't just talk about business. There's a button on there where they can click and just book a call with me. And like I said, usually, come on the call, have a challenge that you want me to help you solve. And then, at the end of the call, if we think that it would be a great idea for us to work together, for me to support you, then we work together. If not, there's no string attached. That's part of my giving back, because at some point early in my career, people were helping me, right? So yeah, just go to my website, and then I'm on all the social media. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. They can connect with me there also.
Okay, great. Thank you. We'll definitely share the link of your website with this episode. So thank you so much for coming, Dr. Emily. I think that was super valuable. And thank you so much for listening, and looking forward to seeing or hearing you again at the next episode. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Money and Business Hero podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you get some value from it. Please take a moment to leave a rating, or even better, a review. That helps awesome people like you to find the show and me to produce more and even better episodes. And don't forget to subscribe. I even have an amazing gift for you if you leave a great review. I'll be running a 2-day Money Hero Bootcamp where we will work on those 3 pillars of financial success, so you will be able to rewrite your financial story for even greater success. The price for those 2 days is $197, and I will invite you as my guest. You can join the program for free if you leave a good review for this awesome new podcast. Thank you, and I hope to see you on that Money Hero Bootcamp. See or hear you soon. Have an amazing day.